Good morning, guys. So it is New Year's Day. We're supposed to be doing a kayak review on the water today, and instead of us doing that, I'm gonna have to do it in the garage. You're supposed to get on the water today. Everything froze up here in Ohio. It's currently freezing rain and all the lakes are frozen. So I went down to CJ Brown yesterday. The water was open, but it was cold and I didn't catch anything. I'd rather go to my local lakes where I know what's going on and be able to catch something and do a review of the kayak. And the reason why I'm doing a review of my kayak is I've added a trolling motor to it and a lot of other modifications to it that I want to show you guys. What I've done on a budget. Most of this is on the cheap, didn't buy. So we're going to start up here at the front. We have the Scotty anchor mount. Something that I found with the kayak as I'm using it. Anchoring this thing is mostly not ideal. And putting it in the nose is not. Typically guys will run a trolley along the side. I don't want to do that. I have a shallow anchor that I'll show in the back so you can kind of keep the kayak where you want it. Most of the lakes, well, both lakes that I fish, the average depth is only 6 or 7 foot, so they're fairly shallow. I'm not going to be in deep water hardly at all. The way this guy works here, you just pull that up and it lets the anchor down. You push it down and then it locks it back. It is going to keep it in the water a little bit, but if I'm not paddling, I don't have to really worry about it too much. So this is a Yukon 116, 11 foot 6 inches, 32 inches wide, dry storage up front, and it's dry. Never seen any water in that whatsoever. Have my battery here. This is not an optimal battery. This is a deep cycle battery for marine and RV use. It's 100 amp. It's about 45 pounds, maybe 50 pounds. It's just what I have. I would like to do lithium, but as you guys know, they're very, very expensive. That battery right there is $800 in lithium. So have a couple rod mounts. This is just a cheap one that you can buy at Walmart, and I've just mounted it into the track. As you guys see, this is the Blue Tool Craig. These are the mini tracks that they use in a lot of their woodworking stuff. I had some of this from my miter saw build over there, and I swapped out the nylon tracks with these aluminum ones, and they work really well. You can use a standard quarter 20 bolt. The head fits right in there perfectly and gives you a lot more options. Talk about that little guy in a minute. So just making some rod holders. You can make your mounts, and then you can use these, we call them governors, and then you're able to lock this down tight and then reposition this. Just did some little trim work, regular woodworking tools. Spinning reel fits in there real well, and I'll show that in a bit. So I have found that lanyards are your friend. Something that I've done is, this is a composite decking. I've raised my seat up 2 inches. I don't want to go any higher than that. This kayak is only 32, 33 inches wide. I'm fairly comfortable in it and pretty stable, so 2 inches will be okay. Practice golf balls for your scuppered holes to keep water out of them, especially during the winter. In Ohio, I'm fishing 30 to 40 degrees all the time, so keeping water out of the cockpit of the kayak is a good deal. Putting everything on lanyards just also as an organizational thing. That's something that being organized is the key thing to a kayak. Those are mounts that I just made. Same thing, composite decking. They fit right down in these little holes right here. I have these two guys out. Against popular to believe, I do have a cart that I made that fits in the holes in the back underneath the seat, and I posted this on Facebook, and boy did I get burned down. A lot of the ones that I see are just straight down to the wheels. The kayak doesn't sit in anything but little scrubbers, like plug things to hold it up. So with this, I'll get under here. You can see mine has shoulders on it. Don't actually sit just in the holes. So when you're moving this forward or back and you hit a bump, it's not putting all of the pressure inside the holes, which a lot of guys say that that's where they get cracked and things like that. So, but I put that on a couple of the DIY channels, and some of the guys liked it, a lot of the guys didn't. It's my trolling motor. We'll talk about that in a second. This is a little battery box that I built. It's got a 7 amp hour battery in it. It's to charge my GoPro, charge my phone. I use my phone for my fish finder, which I'll show you in a little bit in the video here. And this is just PVC pipe. I've painted it up a little bit just to kind of make it blend in to the kayak. Functional rod holders on each end, so I'm not using the ones they were, so they're still a functional rod holder. Holds 2 rods in the back, holds my net, and then over here I have my GoPro mount. And so far I think that that's going to give me a nice angle of me fishing, me catching, and overall close enough to talk. I use a GoPro 7. Stabilization on these things are great. I've tested it. It seems like it's working pretty good, but I haven't to put it on the water yet. So back here, this is the soon-to-be live well. Have the stuff in my Amazon cart. Haven't purchased it yet, but literally just going to pull water out of that scuppet hole right there to put water in and out. Most of the time when I'm fishing, I keep my fish. I like to keep them fresh until I get home to clean them. And if I catch a couple and then I don't feel like cleaning them, I'm not hurting the fish. This is a Viddle container. I try to remember, this is a 10 gallon, maybe 7.5 gallon. It's like the 40-pound one. This is a little pricey, but this is the direction that I wanted to go. On the side of it, I have 2 PVC pieces that I'm using for extra rod holders. If you have them back here, my suggestion is that you have a lanyard on them. Trying to get them in and out is a pretty far reach in your chair, and yeah, it's just a pretty far reach. So I would recommend having lanyards on these to where when you pull them up to the front, you can do that, or have some type of flotation device on them. Rods and reels, they have a cork handle, they have a foam handle. I don't care. They'll sink, and they sink fast. Especially when you freak out and you lost one, you can't get it in time. Alright, now for the fun stuff. So I've added a trolling motor. Bought this trolling motor off of Facebook for $45. It's a 2008 Minn Kota. We have some linkage stuff that we built right here that's got some bike cable stuff on it. It's literally brake cable and housing. Made my own adjusters at a 1/4 bolts. You can see back there, left and right. Everything works. Just cut the shaft, extended the wiring, put quick disconnects up here for that. Built the transom out of composite decking. Basically used trolling motor mount rubber grommets to hold it on there. Should be fine. So yeah, that's the walkthrough of the kayak. And I've fished with everything. I haven't fished with my Viddle container. I did just have a milk crate back there. Same thing. Just had the rod mounts on the side of it. But as I was saying, over here, I have a shallow anchor. So I've got this set up to where I can snap it in place. I have a little rubber piece around here. This is a bike pump holder for a bicycle. And you should be able to see, you just lift it, turn it, and it just drops right down. Got this one here, it's about 7.5 foot long. And it holds the kayak fairly decent, not really that good in a heavy wind, but if you're under 10 miles an hour, it should hold up pretty good. Added some T-track back here in this part. There is none in this when it came, so that's pretty much how I have the trolling motor mounted back there. You can just undo the bolts and the quick release handles there, undo them, and then the whole trolling motor system comes completely off. And then, so I do a lot of river fishing, or I will do a lot of river fishing. This, folks, this is my first kayak. I fished out of a canoe for years. It's okay, but 14-foot canoe for one person is a lot to handle. In rivers and current, a lot to handle, loading all the gear in and out, and then just paddling. It was 40 inches wide, so it's very stable. You can stand up in it, move around okay, but still just pretty big. So I have this little rod holder right here. I'm going to do a little bit of modification so it'll go in and lock and sit with the reel up. This is just an old quantum iron that I have, a broken rod. The tip of it was broke off 2 eyes down. For Christmas, my wife bought me an eye bobber. This is Bluetooth, connects to your phone. So I fish. Not a tournament fisher. You know, I don't go and do a lot of big water, usually just shallow water fishing, but just finding those specific depths, and it does mark fish. And that's really all I want. So, you know, for a gift that just goes to my phone is pretty neat. I've used it at CJ Brown. We were ice fishing the other day at Laramie, and well, technically we were fishing on the ice, but I was sitting on the dock. Only 1.5 inches ice, I'm not standing on it. So, but did mark fish, gave me an accurate depth, even gave me an accurate reading on if there was weeds and that what type of structure was on the bottom too. So that was really nice. So overall, this is the kayak. Looks like a lot. Setting it up, I don't know yet, but even if it takes me 15-20 minutes to set this thing up and go fishing for 4 or 5 hours and really not have to paddle, and paddling isn't bad. This thing paddles really well, but if you have the ingenuity to think about how to build things, you have a workshop that you can build things, why not build things? Make it on a budget. There's people selling these units already made for you for like $1,000. I probably have $700 in the kayak right now, including the kayak, not including the battery. The battery is actually my battery that goes in the back of my truck camper. So yeah, this is the kayak. You guys comment, do whatever you want to do, ask questions. I'll answer a few. I don't have no issue with that. On how I did things, this was probably 30 hours of work putting this trolling motor on here, so I wasn't going to video it. You know, just really didn't have a plan, just kind of did it as I went and figured it out as I went. So doing a video that consists of that type of thing isn't really good to watch. I don't know, is it good to watch? Don't really know. I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna judge. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow we get it on the water and then ultimately catch some fish. As you can see, guys, I'm put the kayak in the water. During this video I didn't talk very much. I just loaded it in. It was a little bit of work. I had to pull the kayak through some grass to get it to the lake. There's ice at both ends of this channel, so I couldn't use a boat ramp. Later in the day I did take it over to a boat ramp, and my impression was a lot better. I was on cement, so I was able to roll the kayak, made things a little bit better. So just trying to my first impression was it wasn't worth it, but after going up the channel about a half a mile in a little bit of wind, it was actually pretty nice. So more videos to come on that, but this is just kind of to show you the operation of it. My new camera angle on my boom, it's just made out of PVC pipe. It also worked very well. Oh, completely loaded down, so almost like being like system works. Looks like I'm getting about 2.5 miles an hour, maybe 3. Try to grow the channel. It's moving a little bit, which is kind of cool. And so the kayak isn't the only thing that I do. Look at my other videos. I mountain bike, ride a dirt bike, off-road everything. So there'll be some mountain biking videos coming up. Plan on starting to ride again with it being the new year. Got to get in shape. I have the Savage Race coming up in June, so have some goals there that I want to get done and taken care of. So yeah, that'll be it. If you watched thus far, thanks. And more to come. I'll be posting some fishing videos and things that other things that I'm going to be doing, some hacks. I know that I have some fly reels or fly boxes that I got to make. I just started fly fishing this spring and really didn't get a chance to get into it, so got some flies over the summer and fall and want to get them in a box, and I may do a video of that and show you guys how it's going to look, how it turns out. Maybe you'll do it, maybe you'll learn from my mistakes. All right, thanks for watching, guys.